Is Lego investing worth it? Are the returns worth the risk? Say that 3 times. My short answer is yes. So today I want to go through some risks that are associated with investing in Lego, as well as some statistics. Now let me put my disclaimer in there. This is not financial advice. I am just here for your entertainment. Make sure you seek out that advice. But I will say I think Lego investing should be part of your overall strategy. Again, talk to your advisor. So let's start out with some risks, right? Let's be honest. There are risks involved when it comes to buying Lego and investing it and reselling it later, right? A lot of that's going to come down to you doing your due diligence, doing your research, and picking a winner. Let me be clear. Not all sets are winners. So what can you do to find a winner? Research, right? A website that a lot of us use to go to is camel.com, right? Or Camel 3X, we like to call it. You can go to Camel 3X and search for basically any item on Amazon, see how well it's selling. They give you graphs to see if it's, after retirement, has it gone up in price or not? You can pick the time frame of the lifespan or 3 months, whatever you want to look at, 30 days, whatever it may be, and see how well has that set been performing. Has there been any out of stocks on Amazon? And when there were, did the reseller step in, and how high was it selling? These are key things that you definitely want to do. Is go and do your research. Don't be the person every time in the forum that says, hey, do you think this set's gonna do well? Go look at some data. Now, I totally understand that some sets are new and we're really curious about them and there's not a lot of data. I get that. I look at those, right? But we're gonna talk about that in a second as well. You can also go to eBay, check your new and your sold listings, and see what's recently sold in the past month or two if you want to scroll that far. I like the Camel 3X because it gives you that data from Amazon. And I feel like it's not necessarily, want to say it's apples to apples when it comes to eBay and Amazon. Amazon, you're usually going to get a little bit higher premium, but it's still valid data to help you make an informed decision on whatever platform you sell on, even maybe if it's like Macari or something. I don't have any experience on that one. I know some people use it. I figure most people are on eBay. Quite a few people are on Amazon. You also got Brickley if you want to go there. That's a good place to look at as well for data. One thing that I like to keep an eye on are out of stocks or the back order stuff when it comes to Lego. You can go to lego.com and just take a look and see what sets are on back order or out of stock. Right now we're looking at the medieval blacksmith set, and it currently today is on back order, but last week it was out of stock. So they got some replenished, but it's still selling pretty quick to be right back on back order. That's a set that I really like that's, slated to supposedly retire at the end of this year. Something to keep your eye on. But look at that stuff. When it comes in stock, is it going back out of stock? Is it going on back order? Even with new releases, if you've been paying attention, March 1st, there are a new line of Star Wars helmets. I'm always be honest and tell y'all that I'm kind of Star Wars biased. I love Star Wars, right? You got the Princess Leia Bush helmet, but the Commander Cody and that Captain Rex helmet are going to do amazing. I think they're going to do really good their whole life. I wouldn't be shocked if they're in and out of stock for the next year or so because they're that popular. If you're not aware of them, you need to be paying attention to those sets. This is the best slate of helmets, in my opinion. I'm not sure if the Princess Leia helmet is a Target exclusive or not, but I did see somebody post, I think the guy on Life Bricks, who's got a YouTube channel, someone sent a picture of the helmets in the Target store, and in the middle of that stand was the Princess Leia one saying Target exclusive. I'm still waiting to see that. I don't see it on Target yet. But here, if we do look at those two helmets on Lego, and if we look at them on Target, the pre-orders are already sold out. That's a good sign of how well this set is going to do, in my opinion. If it's selling out that fast, those pre-orders are already done. This set is going to do really good. Something to look at though. Like I said, back orders, out of stocks, pre-orders, how fast are they selling out? That's going to show that there's going to be demand. When that set comes out, it's going to be gone. Something to pay attention to. Now, obviously, you want to make sure that there's that supply and demand, right? If there's no demand, you're not going to get a good return on investment. The good thing about Lego is, for the most part, if you don't pick a winner, you don't pick a set that does as well as you wanted it to, I'm not going to say you're guaranteed, but you pretty much can always get your money back, maybe a little bit more. Rarely do I see sets going for under the retail after retirement or sometime after retirement. It can happen, but for the most part, you're pretty good at least recouping your money, taking the hit, and reinvesting it into a better set. We see you, ATST Raider. Thanks a lot. So do your research. Another risk is re-releases. We've seen this recently with Ship in the Bottle and the Apollo Saturn V. I believe there's probably a couple others. I don't think this is going to be that big of a deal going forward. I'm sure there's going to be more sets that will be re-released. And yes, if you had a bunch of Saturn Vs and they re-release it, that's going to maybe bring the price down of that set. but that is something to be aware of. There could be a re-release on a set, right? And another risk that I basically have already touched on is depreciation. Most Lego sets are not depreciating. There are some, but most of them, if you do your research and you're looking at how high is it selling throughout its lifetime, you should do okay with your picks. It's just some are going to do better than others, but I want to make sure you're aware that depreciation can happen. The last risk that I thought about is long shelf life. A lot of sets, they live a little longer than we anticipated. That we see you Treehouse, you just don't want to die. And I know a lot of people, they have a lot of those tree houses and they're probably a little frustrated with it because that's money that you have tied up in that set that's not retired yet, that we thought was going to retire, call it 2 years ago or a year ago. There's no end date yet. That's money that could have been invested in something else. So just be aware of that. A couple more that come to mind are the Death Star that retired about a year ago and the Disney Castle that just retired. Both of them were out there for many years, but they're still performing really well after retirement. I looked the other day, the Disney Castle selling for about double right now. A few months after retirement is really good to me. That Death Star, you know, it really jumped up there in price pretty quick. So just because they have a long life on the shelf doesn't mean that they won't still do well later on. But these are also big sets. The Death Star, the Disney Castle, those are iconic sets. But also going back to re-releases, and if you're one that's sitting there holding on to Death Stars and Disney Castles, I think you're safe right now. But if you don't think they're going to re-release them at some point, I think that you are wrong. The Death Star's definitely going to happen. They will do another Death Star. It's just too good of a set not to make another one of. And the Disney Castle, I could see them doing another one, but probably sometime down the road. So when you're thinking about the risk, right, you want to hedge that risk the best you can. Everybody has their own strategy, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you have a particular strategy you think would be beneficial to everybody, put it down in the comments. Let us know what works for you or what you've tried and did not work. You know, sharing the knowledge and let's helping each other out is going to help us, you know, do better in the future and minimize that risk. But something I just wanted to put out there in your ear is have a few different SKUs, right? And if you don't know what a SKU is, look it up. But every item has the SKU number, right? And I think it's smarter if you're a new to Lego investing to have a handful of SKUs. I'm not saying go out there and get 10, 20, 30. Everybody's different, right? We all have a different budget and amount that we could get. And if it's, you can only get one set and that's how it works, good for you. You're doing something, right? But if you can get, let's say 5 different sets and you get maybe 5 to 10 of each, like you're like, Mike, that's all I can do. Great. I'm happy for you. I want to help you out the best that I can with the knowledge that I have. But I would say that that's smarter. I'm going to say, I think that's smarter than going and say getting 10 singles of 10 sets, right? You got 10 total, or you're buying, you know, 2 items of 10 different sets. I think it's a little better to maybe get 5 SKUs versus 10 and go a little deeper. You know, if that's 5 sets for you, if that's 10 sets for you, if that's 50 sets for you, whatever. Obviously, do your research, do the things that we've already talked about, and make your guess. But that's my opinion. Let me know if you disagree. And I'll also say that because you might have a good winner and you have 2 or 3 and you wish you had 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, right? So just things to keep in mind. Let's talk about a positive real quick, right? The good thing is Lego sets all have an end of life. They're going to retire at some point. And, you know, I utilize Brick Fanatics. That's one of the sites that I really like. Also Brick Set, they'll put the date in there at some point. So a couple of these videos I've already done. Hopefully soon Brickset will start having data in there saying, yes, it's planning on retiring at, you know, December 31st, but they do have the end of life. Obviously that means that the set will no longer be manufactured. And once they're all balled up, they're gone. At that point, usually the price starts to increase and that's where we can make some money. That's one of the positives about it. It's going to happen. Lego has to make new sets. They can't just keep making the same old sets over time and then produce new sets. They got to cut the cord on the old one so they can manufacture the new ones. So that's why we get to do what we do. Now, as of today, some of you might be like, well, Mike, we're in a recession. You know what? I'm not going to get into that stuff. I think differently. I am not concerned about that. You might be, and I totally empathize with that, but it's not a concern to me. Let me give you some thoughts here. If you think that way, and if you are concerned about that, you know, maybe in a couple of years, things will be differently or a year from now. But if you're buying the sets right now, then they're retiring at the end of 2023. You're still most likely waiting 6 months to another year. So let's call it the end of 2024, maybe even into 2025. 2025 to sell these sets. So you still got some time for the economy or whatever to get a little better. Again, just a thought, not something that I'm concerned about, but you know, if you think I should be, feel free to drop a comment. You just got to do what's best for you and your family. If you're finding this content valuable, it would mean so much to me if you smash that like button and consider subscribing to my channel. But let's look at a few statistics real quick. So I went and did a little research and found a few different articles that I thought were relevant to the conversation today. One of them is really cool. This could just stop the conversation. Lego is the largest toy company in the world. You can check the article out. It's in the description. Lego's not going anywhere. They're going to continue to grow. Now I'm going to touch on and move forward very fast on the whole Lego does better than gold thing. If you haven't heard that people are out there saying it, I got a couple articles that you can check out. But a cool thing I saw is Lego is growing about 11% annually when it's sold on the aftermarket, eBay, Amazon, which I thought was really cool. You know, they're saying that's higher than gold, whatever. I'm not the financial guy. I'm not getting into that. But 11% annually to me is really good. I think that's a good statistic. Another statistic is in 2017, 10% of all retail sales were done by e-commerce online. As of today, 20% are being done online. I thought it was a lot higher than that. So that just shows how much more growth there can be when it comes to e-commerce, selling on eBay, selling on Amazon. Only 20% of the world, retail sales is done online. That means 80%, if you didn't figure it out, 80% still done in the store for the most part. They're projecting that number to be about 25% of total sales online by the year 2025 in a couple of years, right? That is a very encouraging statistic to me that it's going to continue to grow. Now, when will it ever get to 50? I don't know. But if you think about how many sales are done online and it's only, a fifth of the total right now, it's pretty good. Another statistic here in the US, brick and mortar stores have gone from 450 to about 350,000 stores. So 100,000 decrease by the year 2021. But I thought that was interesting. Less stores, but the volume is increasing as far as sales within the stores. Maybe because there's just less physical competition. So let me tell you a quick story. I used to sell alcohol, right? I worked for a distributor and we used to always say alcohol is recession proof. If people have money, they're going to buy alcohol. And when people don't have money, they still find a way to buy alcohol. And that is still true today. And I relate that to Lego and things that you want. If somebody wants something bad enough, they're going to figure out a way to buy it. That's just how it is. It's how we are as human beings, right? But I thought I wanted to at least mention that to you because I always thought that was funny and it stuck with me. That if somebody wants a Lego bad enough, they're going to figure out a way to buy it. So you see there's some risk involved when it comes to investing in Lego, but I don't think it's very major, as well as there are some statistics that can help you back up your decision making. As always, drop a comment below. Let me know if you learned something or if there's something that you would like to add to this. I would love to hear it. Thank you again for watching. Mike with Debt Breaking. I'm out.